Good.
Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome into a Thursday edition of the Broken Wolverine podcast. I'm your host, Matt Codd, and alongside of me this week, as always, is my co-host, Jake Belts. What's up, Jake?
Oh, what's going on, man? How was your race weekend?
It was pretty entertaining. Obviously, Watkins Glen, in my opinion, has a special place in my heart. For a lot of people that don't know, I got married not at the racetrack, but the Harbor Hotel, right down the street from the racetrack. And if you're watching the race, they had a lot of coverage of like the Lake Seneca and all that type of stuff. Yeah, that big ass hotel with the boats in the boatyard. Yeah, that's where we got married. So Watkins Glen has a special place in my heart. Jake, how about you?
No, yeah, it was a good race. It was fun. I was actually more surprised than what I thought it was going to be, but yeah, I mean, I got to experience up there with you for that weekend, so it's a nice place up there. It's really really nice place.
Yeah, if you haven't been to Watkins Glen, I mean, obviously, like we're gonna give you a little update, like on travel and all that type of stuff. It's one track I definitely want to cross off my bucket list, and it's a shame because it's only four. It's about 4 hours where we're located. It's not terribly far, but it's a very, very entertaining, beautiful area up in upstate New York. You have a bunch of the wineries. That's what it's really known for. Lake Seneca is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I eventually want to get this show up to Watkins Glen one year. Um, but I'm going to be honest with you. With how much do tickets cost at Watkins Glen, I just don't know if it's worth watching that race live. I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
you only you only get a quarter of a section. Obviously, it's like, well, where do you pick the seats? Like, where do you go in that track? And if you're listening to us live on Facebook or YouTube tonight, then you've been to Watkins Glen. Give us some feedback. Like, where do you sit for the most action? I mean, I'm assuming it would be going into turns 1 and 2 as you go up the S's is probably the best location, but with that wacky restart zone that they just created this year in that race, I don't even know if that's the best seat at this point.
yeah. I would like the S turns.
That's what I'm saying. Like if the bus stop, I feel like the bus
That
stop would
bus
probably
stop
be
would
the
be sweet.
that would be awesome. I mean, I again, how much Zin and beers do you think we would crush in that bus stop with those people?
Oh,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But in regards to what we saw this weekend at Watkins Glen, right? We said it at the end of the episode last week. Shane Van Gisbergen, Shane Van Gisbergen, Shane Van Gisbergen. And I'm going to be honest with you, Jake. A lot of our discussion tonight, and again, if you're listening to us live and you don't want to hear about Shane Van Gisbergen, you might want to turn it off now
yeah,
because at this point, we have a generational talent behind the wheel on road courses, and NASCAR may have a problem. NASCAR may have a problem with how talented he is on those road courses. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's the car, it's the next gen car. Oh, listen, Watkins Glen, if you look at every race in the years past, it's always been like that,
mm-hmm.
right? It's always been a big interval with the leader, second place, fuel mileage strategy. Unfortunately, though, a lot of the complaints this week coming out of Watkins Glen is coming because who won the race?
Yep.
Jake, before we get started, though, we do have we got some news that just broke kind of 3 hours before the show, and courtesy of our friends at jski.com. NASCAR is considering Dover for the 2026 All-Star race. Points race will be awarded to North Wilkesboro. So if you're just tuning in, Dover may lose their date as a points-paying race, and that may be switched with North Wilkesboro. Again, courtesy at jski.com. It broke just about 3 hours ago. As NASCAR works to finalize its 2026 Cup Series schedule, a last-minute wrinkle has emerged. The increasing possibility of moving the All-Star race to Dover Motor Speedway in Delaware, sources familiar with the discussions but not authorized to speak freely have told The Athletic. Dover hosting the All-Star race would then clear a spot for North Wilkesboro Speedway to land a Cup points race something the vulnerable North Carolina short track, which has not held a non-points All-Star race since 2023, has not done a points race since 1996. No decision has been finalized yet on the location of the All-Star race, but such a move is under serious consideration. NASCAR is targeting next week to release the full 2026 Cup schedule. This is massive news. This is really big news if Dover is to lose a points-paying race to North Wilkesboro. I'm going to start off with your thoughts. What do you think about this?
I'm not happy. I like Dover. I mean, that's like huge news.
Yeah, 3 hours ago. I mean, this literally just broke from. I mean, Jordan Bianchi works for the Athletic, so that's when I say the Athletic, it's Jordan Bianchi. Jordan Bianchi is tuned in.
Yeah,
3 hours ago. That's insane.
I'm still mind blown that they even thought about that. Like is there something with Dover? Is something going on behind the scenes that we just don't know about yet? Is like the ticket sales are never down there. I think it's always a full house. I don't know if they're annoyed with the always having a battle with rain there. I don't know. Yeah, that's just weird. I mean, I like North Wilkesboro, but I like Dover better.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've always been an advocate, and I've always said this even when I first started the podcast. And I started this podcast back in 2023. I said, listen, North Wilkesboro Speedway, in my mind, deserves a points-paying race. They always have and always will. But to come at the cost of Dover, I'm scratching my head because it's, and again, people are probably going to be like, well, you guys are from, like Pennsylvania, so it's close in proximity. You guys don't want to lose a race at Dover. You may be right, but at the same time, Dover has kind of been a staple on the schedule since, 1969.
Yeah.
And for them to lose a points-paying race to give it to award it to North Wilkesboro Speedway, this is really earth-shattering. I never thought, and maybe the writing was on the wall when we saw Nashville Super Speedway kind of take that second date from them. Maybe maybe the writing on the wall was there, but I'm curious because that's been a staple of the NASCAR Cup Series schedule since 1969. At least one points paying race at Dover, and now you're considering swapping it out with North Wilkesboro. It's very, very odd, in my opinion. That's the track you're going to swap out at.
Yeah, I want to hear more about that. I hope it ain't true. Not saying North Wilkesboro doesn't deserve a points paying race, but at the cost of Dover, I don't know. I mean, like you said, yeah, people might think, oh, because it's in our backyard, we love it. But I mean, it's been around forever.
Yeah, I mean, now, like I said, it looks like the Cup Series schedule, the full 2026 schedule is going to be released sometime next week. But at the same time, I don't know what track you would swap out North Wilkesboro for. A couple of things here with Dover, right? And yes, we are a little biased about Dover because that is like our baby brother. We want to protect it as much as we can. But at the same time, Dover, if you've watched the race, I mean, the only thing that Dover has issues with, no matter when they put it in the schedule, it's always been rain. Mm-hmm. It has always been rain. And that has been my biggest downfall of not going to that race. When it was in late April, early May, it rained every year. It just rained. And then this year they moved it to July. It rained. They restarted the race. I'm curious because the ticket sales have been really good since they dropped down to one date. And if you are a season ticket holder to Dover, I would pull yourself out of this as fast as possible before that schedule gets released. Yeah. I would. I mean, now granted, is Dover the best track on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule? No, not at all. It's the concrete. It's the Monster Mile, right? It's concrete, all that type of stuff. But at the same time, I'm just like, this is a head scratcher. And I guess when you look down the schedule, it's like, well, where do you pull a date from? Because you're going to have to pull a date to put North Wilkesboro in there. And a lot of the tracks, compared to what Dover has produced in regards to racing over the last, in the next gen car, this kind of makes sense on a NASCAR viewpoint and a standpoint. But at the same time, it's a head scratcher. I'm absolutely stunned by this. If you're listening to us live, NASCAR is considering Dover for the 2026 All-Star race, and they're going to be swapping that out with a points paying race at North Wilkesboro. And it's going to be interesting with the schedule too. Does Dover go before Charlotte next year? Do they get put in that May 22nd, 23rd slot? When does North Wilkesboro go on the schedule? Because that's going to be a hot commodity between the 4 networks.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a very hot commodity because they're going to want the first ever points. They're going to want the first points race since 1996 to be on their network.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And Fox has had the North Wilkesboro race the last 3 years since they've ran it. This is massive news. I did not see this at all. Like I said, if you're a season ticket holder to Dover, I would be calling the ticket office tomorrow to try to figure out what's going on because there is a massive difference in viewership of going to an all-star race compared to an actual race.
Yep.
I'm curious on what other people are thinking online. If you're listening to us on Facebook and YouTube, feel free to chime in on the Blown Engine chat line, wide open. Again, Dover is considered to be the 2026 All-Star race compared to and getting swapped out with North Wilkesboro. That was, to me, really kind of like shocking.
Yeah.
And again,
like you said, it's because of I think it's going to be more shocking for people who can go, who live around the area and shit, more so than people who aren't around here. But yeah, never thought I'd hear that.
Well, the one thing about Dover too is that Dover Pool. I mean, again, we live outside Philadelphia, so Dover pools from a different radius than Pocono does, right?
Yep.
Pocono pulls from like New York, North Jersey, Pennsylvania, like upstate New York. Like they pull from a different demographic. Dover pulls from a whole different demographic as well. Yes, you got the Philadelphians, like South Jerseyans, but at the same time, when I look at it, like you got people who are in Delaware, Maryland, the DMV, like that whole area. That's their home race. That is their home race, and it's like, well, now it's going to be an all-star race. And like, listen, like as I said before. There is a massive difference between an all-star race and a points-paying race. And I don't care how they doll this thing up in regards to an all-star race. I think an all-star race at Dover is a disaster, in my personal opinion. I really do. Are you going to run 400 laps? I mean, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
But do you want to do 400 laps in an all-star race?
No.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't want to.
No.
Because it doesn't mean anything to them. I mean, it does, but it's not a... Obviously, they take all races. Like, they love racing all of them, but it's not going to be the same Dover. And I guarantee you don't see the same amount of people that are watching it live.
No, not at all. I mean, I guess the next question is, like, if North Wilkesboro is to be swapped out. So it sounds like North Wilkesboro is going to be on the Cup Series schedule for a points-paying race. If Dover, or what track would you want them to swap it out with?
I mean, it's hard, and it's like you said. Like, does it make the most sense? Yes. I definitely not Pocono. I don't think they would ever get rid of that track.
Nah, I don't think they'd make
as a point-paying race. I don't know. Don't freaking add Chicagoland.
Yeah, we've been complaining about Chicagoland for the last couple of days, couple of weeks now.
Don't add Chicagoland. Keep Dover. Make Chicagoland the All-Star race. Make that earn its rights to be a points-paying race. I actually think that's a good idea. Run it as an All-Star race for the first time coming back.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. I mean, again, North Wilkesboro had to wait if it's true that North Wilkesboro had to wait 3 years for points.
Yeah.
I have one track that I do think that might actually make the fans a little bit happy with, just because of what we have seen from the track in the next gen car. I think Phoenix. I think Phoenix makes the most sense. Swap one Phoenix States out with an all-star race, put North Wilkesboro in there as the points-paying race. And then you have that. I mean, now granted, I know they love the West Coast swing and all that type of stuff. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely baffled that they're considering Dover as the all-star race because, again, it's a whole different race. It is a whole different track. It's a whole different atmosphere. And as I said, the last couple of years, has it been the best race? No, because you've had Denny Hamlin kind of aero blocking, and maybe that's what NASCAR's looking at. Maybe NASCAR's sitting there going, Dover has not produced the results that we want as a viewership. They haven't. And I would love to give North Wilkesboro an opportunity to try to give Dover kind of a rest until they kind of fix this where the car is at. But it's kind of a catch-22 because I feel like kind of like NASCAR kind of dug their own grave with this car.
Mm-hmm.
kind of dug its own grave with this car. And in my personal opinion, when I look at it, I'm like, and it kind of leads into our topic of the discussion tonight at Watkins Glen. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. And after watching another week of races in this next gen car is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a massive problem. There's a ton of aero wake, and I get when they first introduced the car, they were like, okay, cool, we're going to give all these teams an opportunity to be competitive. Well, you knew damn well for a fact in 2022 that was going to be the case. There was going to be teams that were going to have an opportunity to be successful. We watched Petty GMS, which is now Legacy. They won a race at Darlington.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't in this next gen car, they probably don't win the Southern 500. They don't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, teams got smarter. Teams got smarter with this car. This car's not going anywhere.
No.
And as you saw, look what happened with Trackhouse Racing. Trackhouse Racing knew more road courses were coming on the schedule. We're going to make Trackhouse Project 91. We're going to bring these overseas drivers, see what they can do. And they nailed it with Shane Van Gisbergen. Good teams always adapt.
Yep.
Great organizations always adapt. And they find ways to break barriers. And that's what happened this past weekend at Watkins Glen. And I think that's the part of the reason why Dover, because one team, even though Denny Hamlin won the last 2 years, you just have not been successful in racing that vehicle around the Monster Mile. You just haven't.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you.
So, again, if you're tuning in us live, 3 hours ago just broke that Dover is possibly the 2026 All-Star race getting swapped out with North Wilkesboro. So, Jake, let's talk about 2025, though. This past weekend, we were up at the Finger Lakes, Watkins Glen, our annual trip up to upstate New York. Before we even get to the Cup, couple fluky situations happened this past weekend.
Watch that live.
Which fluke situation you want to talk about first?
I didn't watch much. I didn't watch much of the race. I mean, I saw the big wreck, and then I saw Connor Zilic go for a pretty good fall.
Yeah, I mean,
probably the most embarrassing thing that could ever happen to a guy.
Let's start off with topic number one, right? Let's talk about Austin Hill.
Ugh.
Austin Hill, I said this after Indy, Jake. Austin Hill needed to be parked for a week. NASCAR did it. NASCAR parked him for a week at Iowa for what he did to Eric Almirola. You cannot right or left hook a driver into a corner. You can't. That is a safety violation. And NASCAR did the right thing. This past weekend at Watkins Glen, Austin Hill got annoyed. And this is my perspective. I know that we have fans that are going to argue with us and all that, which people did. Austin Hill, once again, was back to being Austin Hill. 9 laps to go in the race. Coming out of the carousel, ends up being impatient and turns Michael McDowell, causing the big one in the Xfinity Series. For me, Jake, totally unacceptable.
Oh, yeah.
Totally unacceptable. And I get hard racing and all that type of stuff. Austin Hill is a problem. Massive problem. Capital. Done. And I've had fans go, well, you have to understand, like, he's not going to lift that late in the race and all that type of stuff. What are you talking about? 9 laps to go in a race is a very long time around Watkins Glen.
Yep.
Okay. He lifts. Whatever. He ends up lifting, gets behind McDowell, regroup yourself, regather yourself, find a way to pass Michael McDowell. Instead, the crybaby ends up getting frustrated and basically turns Michael McDowell coming out of the carousel. Similar situation with what he did with Eric Almirola in Indy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I had fans go, well, that late in the race, you shouldn't expect him to lift in that type of scenario. There's 9 freaking laps left in the race. 9. You're coming down to 8 laps to go.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of time left at Watkins Glen.
To make moves, yeah.
To make moves. And even if you lifted, you had an opportunity to regain yourself, regain momentum, get around Michael McDowell.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Hill is a massive problem.
Oh no, you can't have guys like that in this sport.
You can't. And
we're not racing bumper cars.
no.
It's when I saw it, I'm like, and then I saw who it was. I'm like, I guess he didn't learn from the week off.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I don't. I guess NASCAR's got to rethink it. They can't let it go because they can't be like, oh, you wrecked a dude in Iowa. You were off. I mean, yeah,
Indy.
Indy.
Yeah.
You were off for a week of Iowa. Sorry, I had it backwards. And then you come back and then you wreck someone again. Basically the same way.
There was a lot of fans, and I kind of agree with a lot of these fans, that literally said that Austin Hill, when he can't win a race, throws a temper tantrum in the car. And that's what he did again on Saturday, excuse me.
I just think someone needs to give him a taste of his own medicine.
But I guess that's what happens when you're a failed prospect at 31 years old and beating up on little kids.
Yep.
When you're a failed prospect. I mean, literally, and if you're listening to us live, feel free to come in on the Blown Engine chat line. Austin Hill is a restrictor plate ace. That's all he is. He's got no talent whatsoever. None. And again, it's easy for me to sit in a nice chair in my basement and sit there and rip him a new one on a podcast. You're right. I'm not in the car. But when I continue seeing the same violation over and over and over again from the same exact driver, it's annoying. It's Bush League. Yeah. It's very Bush League. Yep. And okay, like again, Michael McDowell is a Cup guy that came down to the Xfinity Series to try to, help the organization out. That's what he did. But this is not the first time. And again, we talked about it at Indy. After he got done at Indy, we talked about this. At this point, though, it goes beyond what has happened the last 2 out of 3 weeks. This stems all the way back to 2024 as well, with him and Shane Van Gisbergen on those road courses. Austin Hill, if he does not beat you, or if Austin Hill cannot beat you, he's going to intentionally wreck you. That's what he's going to do. And in my opinion, again, NASCAR, that does not belong in NASCAR whatsoever. None. I'm sorry. And again, that's what happens when you're a failed prospect with nowhere to go. You're an Xfinitier at that point.
Yeah, that's what and then here's another thing you got to think. When's the team going to get involved and be like, dude, this is ridiculous? You want a guy to race your car around that's known as a jackass that has no respect in the garage from anybody?
But Jake, here's the thing: are you shocked with the organization that he drives for?
No, I'm not.
It's Richard Childress Racing. Yeah. I mean, this is the same organization last year at Richmond, this time last year, by the way, who had a driver basically intentionally wreck 2 drivers to go win a race. And his spotter literally said, wreck them, wreck them, wreck them.
Yep.
And before I get everybody go, well, Dale Sr. did it and all that type of stuff. He did not intentionally wreck people. Okay. No. He tried to rattle his cage, by the way. Okay.
You gotta use the right saying. It's rattling guys' cages.
But I'm sorry, like I said, with Austin Hill, no, and like you said, did he learn his lesson after the suspension at Iowa? No. And nothing has come out yet of this. I don't think anything's going to come out. We're on Thursday. I mean, if there was something that was going to be coming out, it would have happened on Tuesday. So he probably escaped by with this one. But I'm keeping an eye on the 21 over the next couple of weeks because this guy legitimately, if he cannot win a race, he's going to intentionally wreck and throw a temper tantrum. That's what he's going to do. And again, that's what and that's what I expect from a guy who's just a restrictor plate ace in the Xfinity Series.
Mm-hmm.
He's never going to go up. He's never going to go anywhere. He's not going to get to the Cup. It's done.
I agree.
Next up, Connor Zilisch.
Heartbreaking, man.
I'm sorry.
I mean, when you watch it, you laugh. Like, I mean, after you watch it after the first time, you laugh. I mean, it's shitty what happened to him. I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody, especially when you're celebrating a win. But man, I didn't even think it was that bad at first. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought maybe he would have fucked his leg up more so than break a collarbone.
Yeah, it was just very odd. It was unusual, and it's like how many drivers over the course of the history of NASCAR have done basically got on after they won a race in victory lane, got up on their roof and basically took the pictures and all that type of stuff for the sponsorships and all that. And it was just a normal day at the office, and he
Yeah.
ends up just slipping, I guess, on the catch on
I
his
think the
like on the
catch. I
window
think
net.
I think I think his foot got. I don't know if his foot got stuck or he just slipped.
It had to. I think it looked like he slipped, and again he fell. And when he fell, like you knew, like, and my cousin Vince, obviously, who was a co-host with us last year, he texted me immediately. He's like, yeah, he's going right into the ambulance, emergency
Yeah.
right away, all that type of stuff. Because I mean, the way that he fell, I mean, he was like in the fencing position, like it
Yeah.
was very, very scary on what happened.
And when he hit the ground and wasn't moving, I'm like, oh boy. And you could just tell he was in pain.
Well, and that exactly, and that's what ended up. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, he like as you said. I mean, he hit the ground hard. I mean, wasn't concussed, which I guess that's the good news, but ended
Yeah,
up
it's
breaking his
huge.
collarbone. So now here's the interesting thing too, right? Okay, so he breaks his collarbone. He is in the hunt for an Xfinity Series championship.
Yep.
He's in the hunt. Like, I mean, he's legitimately probably the top dog right now.
Yeah, and he's the guy being talked about to go up the cup next year.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, if you're junior motorsports, I mean, how long do you keep Connor Zilic out? I mean, now granted, the collarbone's going to have to heal. So
Oh yeah.
for me, broken collarbones are usually about, I think they're usually about a 6 week like time frame somewhere around there, and especially in a race in a car, you need it. Like, there's no doubt about it. You're going to need it. I mean, Chase Elliott snowboarding broke his collarbone. He was gone for 6 weeks.
Yep.
Zillage most likely is going to be gone for 6 weeks. The good news, I guess, for Connor Zilic is that it looks like he's going to be ready for the playoffs. At this point, though, they're going to have an emergency driver in that car until the playoffs because the Xfinity Series playoff starts at after Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still a couple weeks. We're a good time frame away. So obviously, he's going to get a playoff waiver. Everything's going to come into his advantage. But I'm curious and I'm concerned now with that broken collarbone. And it's
Yeah.
like, does this broken collarbone keep him from winning the Xfinity Series championship?
Yeah, like how aggressive is he going to race the car?
Yeah, I mean,
Is it going to
listen,
bother him? I mean, dude, you're bouncing up and down those things in your
yep.
arms. You're doing this all day. Like, your collarbone's it's moving the whole fucking day.
I mean,
Is it going to irritate him?
look what happened with Chase Elliott after he broke his collarbone snowboarding. Right? Look what happened with Chase Elliott. When Chase Elliott came back, everyone was excited. I was too. When he came back in 2023, I'm like, oh shit! Like Chase Elliott, we're gonna get back to old Chase Elliott. It took. I mean, and Chase Elliott even admitted it. He's like, it took a long time to recover from that broken collarbone. It did. I mean, from the shifting and the steering at high speeds, all that type of stuff. This to
because he
me,
broke his right, so that's his shifting arm.
yeah, exactly. That's what's going to
Didn't
end
even
up
think of that.
Yeah. I mean, this could really have impacts on the Xfinity Series championship with him being this hurt. Now, again, he was in good spirits. He was supposed to race on Sunday in the Cup Series.
That's what I was more bummed about. I want to see him in the Cup.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, though, Connor Zilic, I mean, man, what an ending. I mean, if there's anyone that's going to stop Shane Van Gisbergen in the future on road course, it's going to be Connor Zilic. It's going to be. I mean, for some odd reason, Connor Zilic just has his number with Shane Van Gisbergen. Now, it also helps that they're both part of the same organization, Trackhouse Racing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's twice now that Connor Zilic got the upper hand on Shane Van Gisbergen. I mean, Shane Van Gisbergen's human, folks. He is. Right driver can get to him. So, yeah, the Zilic situation though is definitely that was one of the flukiest things I think I've ever seen in NASCAR. Well, I don't want to say flukiest because the Hail Melon to me to this day is still the flukiest. Before we get into the Cup, we had a Blunt Engine chat line. We had someone check in, or we had two people check in. Swayze, he checks in. He goes, he hit the ground hard. Yes, he did. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Yeah, and again, if for all you folks that have not gotten a chance to watch it, I mean that was very scary. There's no doubt about it. Ian, he checks in, which show his comment on stream. He goes, with his Red Bull deal already signed, meaning Connor Zilic, do you think they will back Connor full time in 2026 with Trackhouse in the 99? Really good. That's actually a really good question, Ian. I've been saying this since the Daniel Suarez news broke. I've absolutely thought that, in my personal opinion, I think that Trackhouse already knew they were going to bring Connor Zilic
Yeah.
up.
You
I
can't
don't
have
think
the kid walk.
I don't think you. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You don't make that move, in my personal opinion, with Suarez unless you had Connor Zilic in the wings. They did, and then now with the Red Bull, it's interesting because I didn't even think about Red Bull, and with that comment with the Red Bull deal. Yeah, I think that Trackhouse back in Connor Zilic 100% in 2026. I think that this was a developmental year in the Xfinity series. See how well he's going to drive in the car. And he's absolutely been crushing it in the Xfinity. Now, unfortunately, a broken collarbone is going to be the only thing that probably stops him from winning the championship on a fluke. It's not even like he wrecked. It was just such a fluke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do believe that Connor Zilic will be in the Trackhouse 99 car. And I do believe that, Ian, going back to your point, I do think Red Bull is going to be a massive sponsor next year for that car. So now, speaking of Trackhouse racing, let's get to Sunday's race at Watkins Glen. Again, folks, SVG, SVG, SVG. Before we open up tonight's discussion, I'm going to ask the question to the audience and you, Jake. I just talked about Zilic possibly being the only one that can stop SVG in the future. In 2025, is there anybody that can stop him on a road course? We have one more left.
I mean, I will say I was really impressed with Blaney's racing this week. I think that Blaney really gave him, until he got to that bus stop turn, SVG was just fast. And SVG obviously has a lot more experience than Ryan Blaney does, but I was really impressed with Blaney's. I don't think Blaney's the guy who's going to beat him. But a guy that I thought was going to give more of a run was Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, he was.
And I think, Ty Gibbs is good on road courses. And it's like you said about SVG, he's human. You have one slip up, like everybody has it. You could lose that race. But I mean, the only guy that I've seen that it's Connor Zilic, obviously, but I really expected more out of Michael McDowell this week.
I think you and I both.
But to be honest with you, to give you a solid 100%, I think this guy is. I don't.
Yeah, I think in 2025, I just think that SVG is so bulletproof at this point. And we should have known this last year, right? He came into that Watkins Glen in this 2024 race, excuse me. He was leading. And the only thing that stopped Shane Van Gisbergen from winning that race and Buescher winning that race was SVG had a bad bus stop. SVG right now on these road courses is an absolute. I mean, now granted, if you're an enthusiast of NASCAR and you're a true NASCAR fan, you hate the guy.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a fan of racing, what he has accomplished on these road courses in 2025, and again, this goes back to great organizations adapting. Trackhouse Racing knew that road courses were going to be on the schedule. These cars are not going anywhere. So what do? We bring in one of the best drivers from overseas. We plant him in the 88 car, and what does he do? He goes out and dominates.
Yep. I mean, I'll give you a good example of somebody who, and they talked about him a little bit this weekend, and he actually had a good race. Is Bubba. Bubba, you remember he came out. I hate road courses. No, I hate when they come up on the schedule. But then he sat there and was like, "They're not going anywhere, so I just have to get better at them." And he has.
Yeah, he finished 8th in this race.
I mean, that's just kind of how guys have to look at it at this point. They're not going away. You got to study them just as much as you study the ovals. You got to get better at them like you do at the ovals every year. You just they're adding more, so you got to get better at them. And there's only a handful of guys that are actually good at them. I feel like 2/3 of the guys are kind of riding around.
Yeah, and and the other thing too, and you brought up a good point on that. Some usual culprits that are really good at this race massively struggled. I want to go back to Ty Gibbs for a second. Ty Gibbs ended up finishing this race in 33rd. He had a really good showing in Mexico City where it looked like he was going to get to Shane Van Gisbergen. So it was like, okay, maybe Ty Gibbs could give him a run for his money. He had a really bad pit stop.
Yeah.
He had a horrible pit stop that absolutely killed his day. Other drivers that we used to be bullish on when we went up to the Finger Lakes, that were like surefire locks. Chase Elliott, where were you?
Yep.
Where were you, Chase? Qualified piss poor. Finished this race in 26th.
I'm going to tell you again, and it's every week. Horrible strategy.
Yeah, I mean,
staying out.
I mean,
that was not smart.
They qualified 20th, and I get it that you don't want to do what the leader does, but that restart on the start of the second stage, I mean, you saw. I mean, now Priest had the lead a little bit, so like it kind of worked the Priest, so he didn't really free fall. Chase, though, if you didn't get the lead in the clean air, you felt like a rock.
Oh, dude, he was gone.
He was
Guys
gone.
was going right by him.
He was completely gone within 2 laps.
I'm just a little nervous about their team strategies in these last few weeks.
Yeah,
I haven't been a fan of them. Like, okay, stay out, get the stage points, but at the end of the day, and I get it, stage points are important. They are important. So don't anybody think I don't think they're important. We're here to win a race, though. I'm not going to go in every race strategizing to get fucking stage points on stage 1 and then get fucked the rest of the race.
Well, and that's what happened with Chase Elliott. He got stage points. He finished 4th in this race, or finished 4th in stage 1. Ends up getting really killed with that strategy. Just completely free falls coming out of the S's. And I'm like sitting there going, I'm like, at one point, this guy used to be like legit. At one point, Chase Elliott used to be, when we went to Watkins Glen, it's like, oh shit, it's going to be a Chase Elliott show.
Yep.
The last 2 years, or 3 years, really, 23, 24, and 25, we look back at Chase Elliott, and it's like, where are you?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think Byron did pretty good if you want to keep talking about Hendrick Motorsports. Byron had an all right day. Yeah, but again, I don't think he has the speed to catch SVG on those. He'll hang around the top 10. I just don't think he has it. And then I don't even want to talk about the fucking other Hendrick driver. That's a joke. I mean, I can't blame it. I mean, it was a mechanical failure, but still. Horrible qualifying. Like, it was good in practice. Horrible qualifying. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Kyle Larson, that's who you're talking about, Jake, and he finished 39th in this race. But before we get back to more Shane Van Gisbergen, let me get the final box score out to our fans that are listening to us live from Watkins Glen. Your race winner was Shane Van Gisbergen. Christopher Bell finished 2nd. Chris Buescher finished 3rd. William Byron finished 4th. Chase Briscoe finished 5th. Ryan Blaney finished 6th. Daniel Suarez finished 7th. Bubba Wallace finished 8th. Tyler Egg finished 9th. And Ross Chastain finished 10th. Your top 10 in stage 1 was Buescher, Bowman, Priest, Elliott, John Hunter Nemechek, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Blaney, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Briscoe, and Cody Ware. Your top 10 in stage 2 was Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Christopher Bell, AJ Allmendinger, Brad Keselowski, Riley Herbst, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ty Gibbs, and Ryan Priest. Final lap sled coming out of Watkins Glen this week. Your race winner, Shane Van Gisbergen, led 38 of those laps. Chris Buescher led 5. Chase Briscoe led 6. Ryan Blaney led 35. And Ryan Priest led 1. And Brad Keselowski ended up leading 5. So, again, as we were just saying, and again, all final stats courtesy of NASCAR.com from Watkins Glen. Going back to what you were saying, though, with Shane Van Gisbergen. He was, again, not just was he bulletproof in this race, like he was at Mexico City, like he was at Sonoma, essentially, like he was at Chicago Street Course. The man just made absolutely no mistakes. None. I mean, it got to the point in the middle of the race that people were sitting there texting me going, what the hell? I mean, he's already at an 11-second lead over second place.
I mean, and I sit there. And at the end of the day, I mean, you can't fault the guy. He's good at what he does, but it gets to the point that, like, are people gonna, when the road courses come around during the season, are just gonna lose viewership because you can just fucking know who's gonna win? Like, seriously. I mean, Danny Hamlin said it himself. He's like, not that I'd ever do it. The only way you're gonna beat this guy is taking him out of a race.
And that's what I mean. Again, going back to it until Zilich, I think until Zilich comes up. The only way that you beat Shane Van Gisbergen is or 3 ways they beat Shane Van Gisbergen. 1, mechanical failure on his car. 2, he beats himself. Or 3, you take him out. And I'm not advocating for taking him out of the race. I'm not. We just complained about Austin Hill doing that. You know?
Yeah, no.
It's tough because, like I said, I mean, kind of earlier in the show, like I said, good organizations adapt. Trackhouse Racing adapted. They knew that there was going to be more road courses on the schedule. They brought this guy over, and he's doing exactly what Trackhouse wants him to do.
Yeah.
I mean, now, granted, he's not going to sweep all the road course races because Christopher Bell won COTA this year earlier in the season. We do have the Roval coming up. I do think that Shane Van Gisbergen is 100% a lock for the Roval.
Oh, yeah.
But this is going to bring into another interesting scenario that a lot of people were complaining about earlier this week. You have a guy like Shane Van Gisbergen who's won 4 road courses this year. He's got 4 wins. Right now, he has the 3rd highest amount of playoff points, only behind Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. Everyone's sitting there going, well, when come playoffs, he's going to get knocked out in the first round. Folks, he's got 22 playoff points. I don't foresee him being knocked out. I mean, he literally has to DNF the first 3 races of the playoffs, and that may put him in jeopardy. May.
Yeah, may. Those 3 guys are, and like you said, it can happen, but those 3 guys are technically a lock into the second round.
Essentially. And I know there's a lot of fans that are complaining. They're like, how can a guy that wins all these road courses, have the most amount of playoff points? Currently, he's sitting 25th in the standings. He's 25th in the standings.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one of those guys. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm one of those guys. Like, the guy's got talent. I think it's awesome that they're getting guys like him into the sport. Yeah. But I look at it this way. Like, now that if he wins, and now let's say next year he wins all 6.
Which is a high possibility.
He wins all 6. He's going in. He'll go in just shy of 30, or a little bit over 30 playoff points,
somewhere around there. Yeah.
And then I think about, okay, yeah, he'll go to the next round.
No.
And then look at the races that are in the next round. Look how he's done those races. You don't even hear his name during the race. That's why I feel like people get pissed off that there's a guy taking 6 wins away that'll never win a championship. I'm not saying never. I mean, he is older. I'm not saying never, but he's got to get a hell of a lot better on ovals.
So you bring up a good point with that, right? And I did a deeper dive this week before our show started. Thank you to our friends over at driveraverages.com. You guys all hear me brag about them. I use their statistics all the time. Driveraverages.com. Shane Van Gisbergen, his stats right now in 2025, 8.2 average finish on the road courses. Great. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's exactly what you want out of a championship caliber driver. Now let's take a look at the other in depth. Let's look at the other ones. His average finish on intermediate tracks, 2 miles, which is basically just Michigan at this point, 18 average finish. His intermediate tracks, the 1.5s, what's his average finish? 25.0. Then you have the super speedways of 2.5, or excuse me, the intermediate tracks of 2.5 miles is a 25 average finish. Then on the super speedways, it's 26.3. And then on short tracks, average finish 28.8. His intermediate tracks, these are the mile ovals. His average finish is 30.5.
You're not winning a championship.
But here's the thing, though. You have a path forward. If you're Trackhouse Racing, you have a path forward. You have a path forward for a driver.
Well, you have a driver who's going to be in the playoffs every year.
You have a driver that gets in the playoffs every year, but not just that. You have a driver that's pretty much a lock for the round of 8 every single year, if it's still the current playoff system.
Yeah, exactly. Because
as long as that Roval stays in the round of 12, if he collects all those playoff points like this year, that's what I'm looking at. Let's look in depth this year. He's got 22 playoff points. He's not going to capture any more playoff points. You may end up maybe he gets lucky at Daytona. I don't know.
Yeah, Daytona's a toss-up, yeah.
Daytona's a toss-up, but again, you get lucky at Daytona. But like at this point, you're probably capped out 22 playoff points. I calculated it. His average finish at Darlington, Gateway, and Bristol, those first 3 races, he just needs to finish 28th or better. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is
doable for him.
It is doable. And then he gets into the second round of the playoffs. And then guess what the last race is in the second round of the playoffs? The Roval.
Yep.
Another road course. You may actually see Shane Van Gisbergen actually legitimately driving for a championship in the round of 8, which is wild for me after I gave you all those stats of his average finish at all different types of tracks.
I mean, and there is a high percentage that scenario you just said can and probably will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the playoff points like we just talked about earlier that he could probably squeeze into the next round. Even, you know what I mean? Like, he could squeeze into the round of 8. Just off the points that he has now.
I mean, that's tough sledding. I mean,
he can't have an average finish of 28th.
No, he can't. I mean, you got to have an average finish of 20th. But I think the one thing that I get concerned with Shane Van Gisbergen too is when I look in the in-depth stats and the average finish or the in-depth average finish on all these different types of tracks, right? The one thing that concerns me about Shane Van Gisbergen, and again, Trackhouse they knew what they were doing. Go in road courses, get better on the ovals.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I have not seen him get better on the ovals.
No.
I haven't.
It's been steady.
It's been, he's just been there. And like, again, I'm not hating on Shane Van Gisbergen. I'm not whatsoever, because again, I think to me, he's probably the best road course racer I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Ever. And as long as he's in Cup for the next, let's just say 5, maybe 7 years, because he's 35, so that'll put him at 42. As long as there's that many road courses on the schedule, he may be he might win 30 races in his career.
Yeah, he could.
He might win 30 races because of the road courses. But the thing is that this is my whole fear when he came over. I wanted to see him improve on the ovals. I really did. And they were like, oh, the league the racing series that he was in New Zealand is similar to NASCAR, to supercars, all that type of stuff. And I'm like, cool. We finally have a foreign driver coming over here that's used to kind of like the NASCAR style. Now, granted, on the road courses, for sure, it translated. No doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
But on the ovals, I just want to see him get better. And in my mind, I don't feel like he has gotten any better. Like, I'm looking at the driver averages right now, right? His best average finishes are at Sonoma, where he won. Mexico City, he's won. Watkins Glen, he won. The Roval, he finished 7th. Cody, he has an average finish of 13. Chicago Street Course, he has an average finish of 14. What is that? What all 6 of those tracks have in common? Road courses. His best oval is Michigan, where he finished 18th. Then you have Indianapolis, where he finished 19th, or has an average finish of 19 flat. Kansas, he has a average finish of 20 flat. Charlotte, he's 21 average finish flat. So, like, you see the dip and the decline as soon as they get on the ovals. I mean, he's losing almost 4 positions on average per race on the ovals compared to what he's doing on the road courses.
Yeah. And, I mean, if you think about it, he's going to be in the playoffs. You're going to have to race these ovals.
You're going to have to. I mean, the final race is on an oval. I mean, it is.
Yeah. And the thing that I'm thinking in my head right now is you're a playoff driver. Now you have to be more aggressive than you're comfortable to be. Just talking about him. And he DNFs, he's screwed. Like, if he gets, like, too aggressive, like, trying to, like, if his guys are like, dude, you gotta get 5 more positions, and you become too aggressive against these guys that know what the fuck they're doing. Not saying he doesn't know what he's doing, but are better at these tracks. He DNFs it in the playoffs, you're fucked.
So, speaking of the playoff races, again, going back to in-depth stats for him, Darlington is the first race of the playoffs. He has an average finish in 2 races at 23 flat. Bristol is the elimination race. He has an average finish in 1 race of 38th, which was back in the spring. Okay, now things happen. I'm not going to hold that against him.
Yep.
Gateway, he has not run yet. So when I'm talking about he needs to finish probably 28th or higher in the first round in order for those playoff points to kick in so he can get into the round of 12 to get to the Roval, he's got to be much better than what he has been showing on these ovals. He has to be.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to my theory. Like, I'm all for the playoff system. I'm absolutely all for it. I love it. I think it brings entertainment and drama, especially during the NFL season. But if there is one change I have, and I've been saying this, pounding the table, everyone that listens to us understands this. If you win a race, that is great. You should be rewarded for winning races in NASCAR. But if you win a race, you have to have an average finish of 20th in the points. Not an average finish. You got to be 20th or higher in the points to be in the playoffs. Because there's going to be a lot of good drivers that are going to be sent home that could probably make an impact in that first round compared to Shane Van Gisbergen.
Correct. Yeah, and I mean, maybe if you keep seeing this, and they see like, oh, this guy wins 4 to 6 road courses a year, he holds a playoff spot. That's our rules. But when you get to the playoffs, the guy's horrible.
It's just amazing to me. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the stats while you're talking. I mean, 22 playoff points.
Yeah, I mean,
puts him behind Hamlin and Kyle Larson.
Yeah, and the guys that are below him. Not saying Shane Van Gisbergen is a bad race car driver.
No, me neither.
Are a lot better than him on the tracks that they race the majority of the season.
Well, look, I mean, right now, looking at the standings, cut line, you got Preece. Right now, Preece is sitting 12th in the points. Ryan Preece is sitting 12th in the points, and he's probably going to miss the play. This is the best season he's had in the Cup Series, and most likely is going to miss the playoffs.
Biggest name that I think is going to miss the play. I mean, he's the only one that will make it in points. But Tyler Reddick. Like if he misses the playoffs, that's a guy that should be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Reddick is pretty much locked.
I think
he's locked off of points. I mean, now, granted, he really has to drop the ball the next 2 weeks.
Which I don't see him doing.
I don't
at these tracks.
I don't either. But like I said, you got Preece, you got Kyle Busch, you got Ty Gibbs and Brad Keselowski right now. Right, those and AJ Allmendinger. Those guys are right below the cut line.
And Brad's
Kyle been really good lately.
And Brad's
been really good.
He's not the Kyle Busch that everybody's used to seeing, but he was up there this past weekend. He had a chance. He raced a pretty good first half of the race.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Brad's been heating up. And
Brad has been.
It's a shame with Brad Keselowski, in my personal opinion, because it's like he had such a bad start to the season where he collected his first top 10, top 5 at Charlotte. I mean, at one point, Brad Keselowski was sitting 32nd in the points, folks. Brad Keselowski right now in the points is 19th.
Yep.
Now, I do see a path forward where Brad does make the playoffs. I really do. I think that he ends up coming away with one of the wins at Richmond or Daytona. But again, I feel bad because I feel like people are going to be like, well, why are you bashing Shane Van Gisbergen? Like, no, again, what he's done this season has been absolutely remarkable, and it's been incredible on the road courses. I mean, this is the best road course racer I've ever seen in my entire life. It really has. And in the course of NASCAR, in NASCAR history, we've seen some really good road course racers. I mean, Jeff Gordon was really good. Tony Stewart was really good. Ricky Rudd was a really good road course racer. I mean, there's been some guys that have been like, wow, this is incredible. Shane Van Gisbergen has topped everything that any of those guys have ever accomplished at road courses in the NASCAR Cup Series season. The thing is, too, is that at one point in NASCAR in our history is that we used to remember in the early 2000s when they had the road course reigners like Boris Said, Ron Fellows, all those type of people. They would come in and they would try to win races like Shane Van Gisbergen's been doing. They never succeeded. Robbie Gordon was one of them. Robbie Gordon won 2 races, by the way. They never topped what Shane Van Gisbergen has done. And I've tell people this all the time that's complaining about Shane Van Gisbergen. Shane Van Gisbergen, yes, it's going to be interesting in the playoffs. It's going to be an uphill battle. But the one thing that you have to understand is that the more wins that Shane Van Gisbergen gets, that's more money in the pocket of Trackhouse Racing. Yep. It is. And Trackhouse is very innovative. They're forward thinking. They want to take the organization to the next step. They don't want to be relying anymore on ECR engines. They want to build their own engines and all that type of stuff. That's a fact. They've said it. How do you do that? You got to win races. You got to get the purse. You got to get the money and all that type of stuff. And it's a shame because we look at a guy like at Trackhouse, like Shane Van Gisbergen, who's won 4 races, which nothing to take away from. But I still say for Trackhouse Racing, their best chance of winning a championship until Zelich comes up is going to be through Ross Chastain.
Yeah. No, like off here, and yeah, I'm not. I don't want anybody to think that we're bashing SVG at all. I think he's an amazing asset to the sport because I think this is going to make guys take the road course. Like You gotta you know how somebody got to beat. He's gonna make guys have to get better at him.
And a lot of them are already talking about that.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I don't
He's
like road courses, but I want him to be. I don't want to turn a race on. And SVG 13-second lead. I can turn this off.
well, I feel like we could have done that on 2 of them this year, Watkins
Yeah.
Glen and Mexico City. Going off the Shane Van Gisbergen topic, what driver was a surprise to you this weekend? Well, give me one of your drivers that you were surprised did very well, and a driver that did like really bad that you were like, what the hell happened?
I know I already said it, but I was very surprised when Ryan Blaney got the pole. I was very surprised. I shouldn't say I was a surprise how he raced because he is decent at road courses. Oh man, who I'm disappointed in is Michael McDowell, and Ty Gibbs, and Larson, but that's a mechanical failure. I can't blame him. He came out and raced the fastest lap, so got a point for that.
Took that away from Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, when no one's around you. Who was I impressed with this week? I'm trying to think. You know what? And I might get shit for this, but I was impressed with Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
I'm not a Bubba Wallace fan. I don't root for him. I was impressed because he took his words, like I said earlier in the podcast, and he ate them.
Yeah.
I was impressed with him. I think if he keeps getting better and better, he could be that guy that could contend with SVG. He is getting better. There's light at the end of the tunnel for him. He is getting better. He used to suck at him.
Yeah, really bad.
So,
yeah, Bubba finished 8th in this race. That was probably, I would say, my biggest surprise was Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
I thought that, Bubba's been on a nice little streak lately after the win at Indy. He had the toe link failure last week at Iowa. They fixed it, ended up finishing top 5. This week, he ended up racking another top 10 at a track I did not expect Bubba Wallace to be successful at. One driver I was really impressed with was Daniel Suarez. And the reason why is ends up finishing 7th in this race, did not qualify well. And listen, let's call it as is. He's a lame duck. He's an absolute lame duck at Trackhouse. He's out of that ride at the end of the season, but he's been good at Watkins Glen throughout his career. Not super impressive where he's winning races, but he ended up coming away with a 7th place finish. And now that's not good enough to get him into the playoffs and all that type of stuff, but it was good enough. I mean, that's a pretty impressive day for a driver that's in a lame duck situation. Another driver to me that I thought was more of a surprise was Eric Jones, who had kind of issues in this race, actually from his teammate going through the S's. He ends up rebounding, finishing 12th. And I know every week we kind of talk about Legacy a little bit. I really like what I have seen from Legacy Motor Club this season. And in the beginning of the season, during the preseason shows and all that type of stuff, I said, Legacy, to me, I don't expect them to win a race. Maybe they will at Daytona. I don't know. But I just need to see improvements. They can't be bottom feeders in the sport at this point, right? You got a lot of money going in that organization. Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek, to me, have absolutely answered the bell. Yeah. Right now, both those drivers, Eric Jones now sits 21st in the points. John Hunter Nemechek's been on a slide lately. He's 23rd in the points. Last year, these two drivers were basically sitting in the low 20s in the points. They were sitting in the low 20s. So I've been impressed with what Legacy is kind of starting to build. And it seems like an organization that you go from like the old petty GM, the petty enterprises to petty motorsports to the old school philosophy that wasn't winning them races. It wasn't getting them anywhere close to victory lane to an organization that seems like they finally are almost out of this total complete rebuild when Jimmy Johnson got involved. So I was really impressed to see what Eric Jones was able to do. And the driver, I mean, we kind of touched on it earlier in the show with Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. I mean, Larson, like you said,
Larson, you can't blame him. Yeah.
You can't blame him. He had mechanical failures. Just didn't qualify well. But Chase Elliott, man. I mean, at one point, like I said earlier in the show, I mean, this was a driver at one point you would go to Watkins Glen. You're like, yep, pencil it in right there. It's a Chase Elliott win. Chase Elliott has not finished in the top 10 at Watkins Glen since 2022.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean, it's
I say I'm disappointed in him. I'm also disappointed in his team. I
yeah,
want to say disappointed in both of them, you know. But yeah, I mean that's shocking. Since 3 years now, that's
3 years he has not tasted the top 10 finish at Watkins Glen. And to go back to the Chase Elliott point, everyone who are Chase Elliott fans are like 20th place average, consistency. Hasn't finished below 20th, hasn't finished below 20th. I did not have on my bingo card that his first finish below 20th place would be 26th at Watkins Glen. I
yeah.
really didn't. I mean, this was a track, like I said, at one point it was nearly impossible to stop Chase Elliott at Watkins Glen. And again, he hasn't won a race there since 2019. Now, Grant, we had COVID in 2020, so the race didn't happen. He ended up winning the Daytona Road Course race, which was in replace of it. But at the same time, he has not been the driver at one that we used to expect at Watkins Glen. So when we get picks, it's very difficult to go back to Chase Elliott at Watkins Glen.
Let me go off of your Chase Elliott thing here with the whole
Yep.
20th or better. That's awesome. That is a good stat. Okay. Chase Elliott now has lost the points lead.
Yeah,
I think he has what?
Bleeding.
I think he has what? 6 playoff points.
Yep.
So he's a racer now that, and like you said, maybe he wins one of these 2 races, maybe, but I don't see him winning this weekend. But he goes into the playoffs in round 1 with 6 playoff points. 20th average finish during the season is out the fucking door.
Yeah.
Because you're going in with 6 points. You're going to be one of the bottom dogs.
Yeah,
that's how I think of it as. But he at this point for him, he has to win. He has to win the regular season point standings, or I don't think he's got a chance.
I don't even know if that's possible at this point. Right now, he went into Iowa. Sorry, folks, I'll just readjust my seat. He went into Iowa with the points lead. William Byron won the race. And then this past weekend, he had a bad finish at Watkins Glen. He now sits minus 42 for the points for first place in the points.
And that's I think Byron's got it locked.
I would say Byron's pretty much a lock at this point. Third is Denny Hamlin minus 81. Fourth is Christopher Bell at minus 85. Larson's fifth with minus 85. Unless one of the, Hamlin's going to be tough to go win the regular season points championship just because of the fact that he missed that race at Mexico City. So I don't know necessarily if he's going to have a shot at it.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that may have a shot is Chase Elliott. But again, you're minus 42. You got 2 races left. Unless Chase Elliott goes out next 2 weeks and wins both those races.
And Byron's got to have a bad day.
Byron's got to have 2 bad days.
Yeah. And one of them's got to be a DNF, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Now anything's possible at Daytona, but I don't think it happens at Richmond. I really don't. But anyways, yeah, like we said, Shane Van Gisbergen tonight. So final standings coming out of Watkins Glen. Again, we just kind of briefed over it. William Byron's your points leader. Chase Elliott's minus 42. Denny Hamlin's third at minus 81. Christopher Bell sits fourth at minus 85. Kyle Larson's minus 85 sitting in fifth. Ryan Blaney is 6th. Tyler Reddick is 7th. Chase Briscoe is 8th. Alex Bowman's 9th. Chris Buescher is 10th. Bubba Wallace is 11th. Ryan Preece is 12th. Joey Logano is 13th. Ross Chastain's 14th. Kyle Busch, is 15th. And Austin Cindric now is 16th in the points. So if the playoff points, with the playoff points going into effect, your first 3 out would be Preece, Busch. Well, not first 3. It would be the first 2 out would be Preece and Kyle Busch for Josh Berry and Shane Van Gisbergen. So that's Watkins Glen for you, man.
Yeah.
That's Watkins Glen. Point of the story, until someone beats Shane Van Gisbergen, just go put money on Shane Van Gisbergen at this point.
Every road course.
Now, we are off of the road courses for a little bit, finally. We're at Richmond this Saturday night, which Richmond just announced that they are pretty much close to selling out, which is great to hear because they lost 2 dates last year, one of them to Mexico City. We got Richmond back on the schedule this week, Saturday night, which I'm
Yeah.
actually excited about. I'm happy with the night race at Richmond. That track was built for a night race.
Yeah, I'm happy for. I mean, it's cool. It's on Saturday night. I'm gonna miss it, but I'll have to watch it again on Sunday.
Who do you got for picks this week?
I think he's coming back, and what was taken from him last year, he's taking it back. Joey Logano.
Woo. Okay, Joey Logano. I mean, listen, Logano's in a slump, so this would be the perfect week for him to break out.
He's good. He's good at Richmond, man.
He is. According to driveraverages.com, he's got a 9.2 average finish in the next gen car in 6 races. He's got 2 top 5s and 4 top 10s, and he's led 9.3% of those laps. That's a really good pick.
Yeah,
it's a really good pick.
And then should I put like a? I'm gonna put him back on my schedule. Like I picked him for a few weeks in a row. I'm gonna put him back on there. Let's put Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch.
We'll do Kyle Busch and Joey Logano.
RCR won this race last year.
Yeah. I think you and me could have been in his situation, done the same thing. Just freaking bing banging off cars and finishing. I think anybody could have done that. I hope I don't see that again.
So if you're listening to us live, chime in on our chat line. I mean, Austin Dillon, man. I mean, listen.
I didn't know how he didn't get jumped by Logano and Hamlin that night.
I don't know either. I really don't. I mean, I'm surprised. I still, that to me is still one of the weirdest things that we probably have seen in NASCAR over the last couple of years.
That was an Austin Hill move.
Yeah, Austin Hill. Well,
there you go.
It's got stemmed from the organization somehow, right? Yeah,
yep. That's how we're teaching our RCR drivers.
Yeah, just wreck them, baby. Wreck them. So you're going with Logano and Kyle Busch. All right. My first pick this week, I'm going Denny Hamlin, driver at E11. Denny Hamlin's been unstoppable at Richmond.
Yeah, he's good.
In this next-gen car, he's got 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 10.7% of the laps led, according to driveraverages.com. He won this race in the fall last year on Easter, where a lot of people thought that he jumped the restart. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you could debate it, but I still remember that. You could debate it, but
you could debate it. But Denny Hamlin's been really good here, and honestly, he's been really good here throughout his whole entire career. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's a real friendly Toyota track. Denny Hamlin's always going to be competitive. Honestly, he was the second driver of that incident last year from Austin Dillon. But I like Denny Hamlin pick number 1. Pick number 2, I'm going with a curveball here. I'm going Josh Berry.
I like that.
I'm going Josh Berry, short track specialist.
Yeah.
3 starts here at Richmond. He's got a 9 average finish with 1 top 5, 1 top 10. Has not led a lot of laps, but I do like the short track specialist here.
And I mean, if you want to, like, I should have picked him, but you also watch out for Tyler Reddick this week too.
Tyler Reddick's a good pick. Tyler Reddick's good.
Honorable mention. We'll do an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. You're going with Reddick. My honorable mention. I'm going with Brad Keselowski.
That'd be awesome.
I'm going bad Brad. I'm going Brad Keselowski to lock up his win this week at Richmond. He was good at Iowa. He had a really good strategy at Iowa.
Yeah.
I think that Jeremy Bolins and Brad Keselowski learned something at Iowa. Give me Brad Keselowski this week.
I think everything that they learned at Iowa,
just going to translate.
Don't even flip the page. Just stay on that page and do the same freaking thing at Richmond. It'll work.
I for some odd reason, I have an RFK in this fall or summer race, they call it. RFK has been good. Buescher's won here in the summer in 2023. Buescher came up close in 2022. RFK knows how to get around Richmond. I like Brad a lot this week. I really do. So, all right. So your picks again are Logano. Who's your second pick?
Kyle Busch.
And you're going with the
honorable mention Reddick. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going Hamlin, Berry, and Keselowski.
All right.
I
think they're all 6. I think there's 6 good picks.
They're pretty good picks. Now, I would say take it to the bank, and Christopher Bell wins this race. So, all right, Jake, that's going to bring us to the checker flag tonight. Short episode, quick episode, Watkins Glen discussion with Shane Van Gisbergen. If you love what you're hearing, appreciate you guys tuning live on Facebook and YouTube. Appreciate everyone chiming in, commenting, everything. If you like what you're hearing, follow us on Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. We like to interact with our fans, post some stuff up. go from there. Again, I will get to all the episodes. Now we're up to another episode of Watkins Glen. So I will upload eventually on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon Music. I promise. So if you miss our live episode, you'll have a chance to listen. Honestly, because I haven't uploaded since Kansas, you'll have plenty of opportunity and plenty of episodes to listen to throughout the summer stretch. So appreciate everyone joining in. Appreciate everyone's support. And if you're going to race at Richmond, enjoy yourself down at in Virginia. It should be hot. And if you're not, enjoy your race weekend live from Richmond. So, Jake, absolute pleasure. Enjoy your weekend, bub.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. Talk to you next week. Stay blessed. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Will you tell Mr. Dennett that Ricky Bobby is my best friend, and it's shaking big time.